All right, we're going to get the meeting going now. If you have any cell phones, please silence them, or if you have to take a call, please go outside. All right, this is a regular meeting of the members of the State Liquor Authority. Today is January 19th, 2017. Present today are Chairman Bradley, Commissioner Ford, General Counsel Riano, Deputy Commissioner Licensing Held, and myself, Secretary of the Authority Donahue. The next meetings of the State Liquor Authority will be February 1st, February 15th, which are both Wednesdays, and March 2nd, which is a Thursday. We're going to call the items in the order they were assigned in, first in Buffalo, then in Albany, and then in New York City. When your item is called, please approach the podium and speak as closely and as directly into the microphone as you can, because that's recording the proceedings. All right, Chairman, do you have any announcements before we get going?
No.
Okay. The first item in Buffalo is 158F, and I think it's also in New York City, Iron Gate Wines, LLC.
Morning, everyone. Robert Romano.
Hi.
We have Iron Gate Wines. I believe we have opposition in Buffalo.
Is there opposition in Buffalo?
There is opposition present, Chairman, but they don't have anything to add at this time.
Well, are they opposing the application?
Well, they're just here to see what the outcome is, sir.
Oh, okay. I guess they're just interested in the outcome.
Watch it on the internet. All right. I'm here with Mark Pietro, who is currently a licensee in Rockland County, and Mark has had a restaurant for many years, which serves high-end wines. And Mark decided a couple of years ago, I guess, that he was going to open a store, or look to open a store that would serve ultra high-end wines, no liquor and no bottle below. We said we'd stipulate to $50 a bottle and up. It would probably most likely be $75 a bottle and over. Average bottle will be about $300 a bottle.
Well, before you even get into that, he's running a restaurant in Rockland County right now,
Correct.
and he's opening a liquor store in Buffalo?
And you would say, why is he going?
That
why is
was,
he-
well,
right,
then
why
we're on
is
the
he
same,
doing
well, at
that?
least we're on the same wavelength.
Right. How is he doing that?
Or why?
Why? Right. Why? Number one, the market. Well, Mark will tell you in his own words if you like, but the market he felt was underserved there. There isn't a Zacky's in the neighborhood. The rental. This is a destination location. He expects people to come from literally 100, 150 miles around. The people that are going to be purchasing the wines here. Rents in Cheektowaga are substantially less than they are. Did I pronounce it correct? Cheektowaga. Substantially less than they are in other areas of the state. Mark looked into possibly opening it up into another state, but he's doing it in New York and believe that will bring significant tax revenues to the state of New York as well. I don't believe we're taking any business away from any other store. I believe he's going to be growing.
I mean, Mike, I just,
Yeah.
I'm reading his application, and it says he's going to be active in the general management of the business while continuing his current employment. I don't, for those of you who aren't aware, Cheektowaga is 5 hours away.
It's even
6.
I have partners in the restaurant who are second-generation restaurateurs, from the chef to the manager. It's a 50-seat restaurant, so it runs pretty well itself. I'm not in there cooking or on a day-to-day basis. So if everything goes well, I'll be going up to Cheektowaga, and if you look at it, the rents are less than half the price. And a lot of this will be storage components because the high-end wine needs to be atmospherically controlled.
And these wines are going to be ranging, as I said, usually from $300 to $5,000 a bottle. So,
And is there going to be an internet component to this?
We will have a website, and the wines will be available online, yes.
Is that what the business model is, or, because I lived in Buffalo, you think you're going to have a market in Buffalo for this kind of?
I lived in Buffalo as well. It's going to be the general area. It's going to be Syracuse. It's going to be Rochester. So in and of itself, it's zero service in those areas. Coupled with the fact of the rent being low, they'll be also available to sell in a more competitive downstate environment. But to move downstate initially with the other competition, the Zacky's and the other outlets, was difficult. And if I might say, the business model is simply that these are wines that are not readily available, that typically they're sold at auction, where the person selling the wine pays 18% and the person buying the wine pays 15%. So there's very large margins in there for a person to acquire the wines. And for me to obviously make.
And what's your experience in this, previous experience doing this? Do you have any?
I have a previous experience in looking at wholesale and retail and other types of businesses. Have I ever sold wine in a store or in an environment? No, sir. I haven't.
Well, your wholesale, was that a you were a wine wholesaler?
No, just in the regular wholesale and retail businesses in the state of New York.
I mean, given his product, his demographic, we don't feel that the distance here is relevant to the four closest stores. It really is an irrelevant factor.
How big is I see it's going to be 3,800 square feet, oh, so 1,200 retail?
Yes. The biggest portion is going to be as I said, the storage component, because it has to be atmospherically controlled.
And you're going to move up there? Who's running this for you?
I have 3 candidates that I've looked on winejobs.com who will be in there, more of the sommelier type people to look at the different types of wines. There are various different types of sites to understand what the wines are selling for and what they're going for at auction. So more of that will be analysis than it will actually be understanding the specific wines as it were.
And what's the low point of these? You said, Mr.
We put 50 in there, but probably $75 would probably be the lowest cost one, simply because it's not.
Retail cost or your cost?
Oh, retail cost. I would hope that if it was, retail was 75, mine would be 50, but more higher end, because it's not going to be expected to be a huge volume business as a number of bottles of wine, but obviously the scarcity value of those wines, coupled with what they're generally available for, someone who's buying it's paying 33% above wholesale prices if they could get it. So it's very much a scarcity, value. And obviously, as you know, Buffalo, that area, the whole area up there is not really well served. Are there places to do that? Are there private collectors? Yes, but also be within the state of New York.
Okay.
And just wine?
Just wine, yeah. I know it sounds crazy, but if you see the wines, what they're sold for, it's extraordinary.
I'm pretty familiar with Cheektowaga. I would think a store like this would be like a perfect fit down by Orchard Park, a little further south.
And also the rent would be considerably more. As an example, the rental will be $1,600 a month, as opposed to being over $5,000 to $6,000 a year, and probably more by Orchard Park would be probably a 50% premium, to that area. And it's going to be more, not a walk-up scenario where you need the, feed, as it were.
Yeah.
It's going to be more of a destination type, location. Very narrow, it's a very narrow, specific
It's a niche.
focus, yes.
Are you taking up the whole building or just part of it?
No, just it's a strip mall, so it's going to be the front and
Yeah.
then the back, which was, I don't know what it was previously, but it's basically in a strip mall
Yeah.
at 540.
Anything else?
No? I'm good.
Okay.
Closest store to you is doing over $3 million a year, and they seem to be holding their own. So do the other stores. The only one I have a concern about is the one that's 2 miles away that's brand new that we really don't have too much of a track record on. Actually, we have no track record on because they just started. But I don't know. I think what you're proposing is two things. It's risky and it's unique. So I'm willing to approve it based on what you've told us, that you're going to be towards high-end wines, the $50 to $75 range, and you're going to limit your inventory to that type of product. So I would vote to approve on those terms.
I'll vote to approve as well. The business model is, as Commissioner Ford said, unique compared to the other nearby stores. There's 4 stores within 2.9 miles. The 2 closest stores, the sales are increasing in the closest store, and are in the second closest store, they're consistent and well over $3 million. And And based on the business model that you have presented to us, which is high-end wines, I'll approve, assuming that that's going to be the product mix. Good luck.
All right, there are no other items in Buffalo, so we're going to move to Albany, where the first item is number 123, Mavi Enterprises Incorporated.
Go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Michael Gary on behalf of the licensee, and I'm here with the principal, Robert McDonald. Mr. McDonald's been in business about 10 years, Mr. Chairman. This was his second sale to a minor matter. The other one was about 5 years ago. It was a sale by an employee right before closing hour here, and other than that, he has a clean record.
This employee still with you?
Is the employee still there?
Yes.
And last summer, all of the employees were re-tip certified at Mr. McDonald's operation.
This is after this incident, last one?
Before the incident, I believe, right? Or did you
They
do
were
it?
certified prior, right around the incident is when they ran out, and they were recertified right after the incident.
Okay. So
Commissioner, they actually got a reduction of their penalty because of they got everybody trained after the last incident.
Okay. So is what I have what it is? I mean,
And that's why it was 26, 25, the last penalty.
Got you.
Because that was a reduction based on everybody getting the training.
gotcha.
All right, I'll accept.
6,500 accept.
All right, you're all
you.
set.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, the next item is 158E, Flower Cup LLC.
So put your name on the record.
Good morning. My name is Eliza Starbuck.
And I'm Eric Worth.
And you are the applicants.
We are the managing members of Flower Cup.
Okay, and do we have objectors up there?
Yes, Karen Greco from Glenn Cabissa and Associates and Donato Yanatelli of Yanatelli Limited.
So go ahead in Albany.
Okay. We had previously sent to you documents supporting our protesting of this new wine store. Mr. Yanatelli is a third-generation liquor store, originally issued license back in 1933. Last spring, a alteration was approved. They increased, almost doubled the size of their space to accommodate the needs of the customers. They have 15 designated parking spaces. They're located next to a Food Town grocery store with an additional 65 spaces. They're in a very convenient location, and for the past 80-something years, they've been meeting the needs of the community, specifically, as I said, with this last expansion. In 1965, they had been located on Main Street, just down the street from where Flower Cup is looking to propose their new location. Due to inaccessibility, lack of parking, delivery trucks being able to accommodate delivery, Mr. Yanatelli's business moved to the current location on Chestnut. Also, just recently in November, Fine and Rare Wine and Spirits, a new liquor store, opened just 2 months ago, also within, I think, 3/4 of a mile, half mile of the proposed location for Flower Cup. The population of Powell Spring has also decreased in the last 5 years by about 2.5%. Therefore, based upon Mr. Yanatelli's recent expansion, the other new liquor store just opening up, and the convenience of the parking and the accessibility that we currently have, we don't feel that Flower Cup's location would meet the needs of the people, would be convenient, or would be very advantageous to the community.
And, well, I'll let you guys go first because I do have questions. Go ahead.
We do have a few remarks that will address everything that the protesters have said.
Okay.
So we hope to open a boutique wine shop in the historic Main Street of Cold Spring. We believe that a wine shop in this location would benefit the public in 3 ways.
First, Cold Spring and the 2 neighboring communities are currently served by only 1 store that sells affordable fine wines. This is a region of approximately 7,000 adults, where the demographics indicate high wine consumption. The median household income and the percentage of college graduates are nearly double those of the nation as a whole. This large wine market deserves more than 1 local choice. By enjoying a monopoly, the single existing store is not compelled to improve service, product quality, or value for customers. We believe that many local residents travel outside the region to buy their wines because they want other options.
The second reason is that our shop, Flower Cup Wine, will be unlike any local store. Our selection will feature small artisanal producers who are not widely distributed. There will be no mass market wine. Our limited retail space allows us to stock only wines we have thoroughly researched and are passionate about.
We've made a special study of the Finger Lakes region of New York. At least 10% of our SKUs will consist of Finger Lakes wines. We plan to highlight lesser-known Finger Lakes producers by carrying ranges of their wines.
Another factor making our shop unusual is our focus on educating the customers. Every wine will be displayed with a fact-filled shelf card. Our competitor in the region offers no information about its wines. Also, we have given loving attention to the store's interior design to ensure that our customers are dazzled and entertained every time they walk in. For example, there'll be a chalkboard with an ever-changing whimsical mural that will cover one entire wall of the store.
The third reason for this shop is that it fills a void in the retail landscape of Main Street. The one competitor in the region is also in Cold Spring, but it's located in a strip mall outside the historic district. The strip mall is inconvenient and unappealing for the many tourists and local residents who are drawn by the charms of Main Street, which include a quaint small-town ambiance and a river view. Also, the Metro North train releases commuters and tourists directly to Main Street. Those on foot cannot easily get to the strip mall.
We met a visitor from West Point who made a similar observation. She said that the families of West Point cadets often come to Cold Spring to stroll on Main Street. She said that the West Point community would love to buy wine at a good wine shop in Cold Spring because the wine stores near West Point are uninspiring. She was not aware of the existing wine store in Cold Spring because, as she put it, we don't come to Cold Spring to go to a strip mall. This comment sums up how the historic Main Street is a world of its own. A wine shop there would serve public need.
We humbly ask you to approve our application because the establishment of Flower Cup Wine will bring the local residents better service and product quality by eliminating the current monopoly, and will make wine shopping possible in Cold Spring's historic business district. Thank you.
So my question first is rare wine, fine and rare wine and spirits, which we just issued. Why is that not a competitor of yours or potential competitor?
The owner, in his testimony to this board, stated that he will sell only products costing considerably more than $100. Our products will be primarily between $10 and $30. So
And are they open?
they had just opened.
And have you been in it?
Yes, we have.
And that's the case?
It is.
They're not open yet.
I guess, yeah, but they're not, that store is essentially an office. It's not really a retail display space. So whether they're open or not, I think it's kind of an appointment only. They're
Okay.
but there's no overlap between the products.
And the next question I have is Highland Liquor, which is on Route 9 and is 3.8 miles away, are they open?
That store is more of a small, sort of more like a liquor store. They have very low-end wines. It's not really about craft or anything like that. And it's in another strip mall, which is a different district.
And does Yanatelli,
Yes.
or how do I say that? Yanatelli?
Correct.
Do you have classes or tastings or anything like that of that nature?
We do tastings Friday and Saturday afternoons. Now that we've expanded the store, we have plenty of time for those. We have knowledgeable people, both vendors and in-house folks, who do these tastings. About 4 hours each day.
And how many New York wines are you carrying, approximately?
About 10%. I probably have 50 SKUs.
That doesn't correspond to our observation. On 2 visits, we found no wines whatsoever from the Finger Lakes region in the store.
Okay.
Yeah, we have Finger Lakes.
Yeah, but that does not mean that he cannot have access to the same as you do. If I can make a comment about fine and rare wines, their license was issued on November 6th. I realize currently that is a small location. Mr. Yanatelli personally knows the owner of that store and is in the process of any day closing now on a 2,500 square foot building 2 doors away from his current location. And it is intent to submit a removal to relocate his business from his current 400 square foot to a 25 square hundred foot store.
Well,
to
that's
expand his
not really
business.
relevant here.
Okay.
I mean, he hasn't, that's not,
Hasn't done it yet.
it hasn't been, it's not before us now, so,
Okay.
and I
All
I do recall that when we issued his license, it was for high-end wines and spirits, so.
Okay.
Do you have any?
Yeah.
If I may say, I would think that because this has been a continuing business for the past 83 years, they are currently serving and exceeding the needs of their customer base.
That's probably true, but based on their sales, over the last 4 years, they've had significant increases. And, you know, we're not talking about putting another 2,000 square foot store here. This store is going to be about 450 square feet. So I'm not, you know, he doesn't have a right to no competition.
Correct. I agree with that.
Ms. Starbuck, are you planning on continuing your employment at Millbrook Winery?
No, I worked at Millbrook to get further training, to get a real good sense of the wine consumption and interest in the area,
Yeah.
and also to learn more about how wine is made and really understand the process so I could communicate that with our customers.
But assuming that this was approved, you would end your
My
employment there?
employment has ended there.
Oh, it already has ended?
It has ended there.
All right, thank you. You ready? I see one store we haven't received a response. Third closest. Second one kind of soon, but I'm not sure what they're really doing.
If I may point out a fact that we see our target market as consisting of almost all of Phillipstown, New York, which is made up of 3 villages, Cold Spring, Nelsonville, and Garrison, which is to the south. The 2 stores, our area map has 2 stores to the north. There's a greater concentration of liquor stores in general up in that area. We don't see that as being our primary market. The market that is really lacking wine choice is more to the south, and that's shown on page 2 of our memo from last week. We have a map showing those 3 villages, in which Yanatelli is the only store offering affordable wines.
Another thing I'd like to add, if I may, is that Cold Spring is really becoming a destination location for tourism. We get day trippers every week, all week long, really, from New York City, people who are coming from international locations and want to see what New York State's like. And we really want to promote the charm of our town, be a part of the retail area that makes coming to Cold Spring kind of fun. It's like a little small town from the past, and we want to provide another jewel in the crown of the enjoyable experience that tourists are coming for.
Thank you.
Another major change is that gentrification has really begun to take off in Cold Spring on Main Street. It's a completely different Main Street from 1965 when Mr. Yanatelli was there. In the last 5 years, high-end boutiques have opened. that sell goods of interest to both residents and tourists. It's no longer just thrift shops. And we're trying to open a store that is in harmony with that kind of ambitious, dramatic style of retail.
All right. I'm still going to vote to deny because we have a brand-new store license that we just issued a license. And, you know, not that I don't believe what you're telling us about how they're set up or not, but we just don't know. They don't have a track record. It's 0.8 miles away. It's 360 square feet. It's even smaller than your 450 square feet. And I just don't see that we've seen how this other one is going to do, placing it in the middle of everything, so I'm going to vote to
I
deny.
respect that. I just want to make sure it's clear that the other store, Fine and Rare Wines, is on record before this board as intending to sell only products costing considerably more than $100. We will sell nothing over $50 or perhaps $70 at the tops.
No, that's been made clear. I would vote to approve. The closest store is a half a mile away. It's in a strip mall. It's had significant increases in sales steadily since 2012, about between 50 and 100,000 each year of an increase. And the next closest store we did just issue, but it is, I recall that hearing, and during that hearing he did indicate that his business model was high-end wines and liquors. And then the next closest store is 3.8 miles away. I am familiar with Cold Spring and where this store would be. I think it would be a good addition to the community and certainly a public convenience and advantage to those people that are walking along Cold Spring. So I would have voted to approve, but unfortunately, with a split vote, it's denied.
You can always request reconsideration, and, you know, maybe we'll have more of a track record for the other store by then, too. All right?
Yeah, I just, would like you to consider the difference in presentation style. We're really just pushing for enjoyment, affordable luxury, creating an experience in retail that people can enjoy and just come for the day, but afford something to take home with them and remember their visit to Cold Spring.
I understand.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're now done in Albany, I guess, and the first item in New York City is number 152, Demis Tower Incorporated. All right, we'll skip that one. The next item is 158L, Vicosina Restaurant Incorporated.
Morning, Jonathan Schloss. I'm with the law firm of Schloss & Schloss. For me, Cosina, I'm here with my client, Edith Oriana, who's the licensee, and a friend, Spanish interpreter, Dania Magana.
A Spanish interpreter?
My client understands English mostly, but wants to make sure that she understands everything, so it's just...
Okay.
Who's up here with her.
So my question, you've offered $6,000 in a civil penalty. My question is everything fixed? That was regarding the charges.
That's my understanding, that they're operating within their hours as a restaurant pursuant to their license. License was approved in 2011, and they're operating under those conditions. That's...
Can she say that?
Everything that the charges were have been fixed.
Yeah, everything.
Do you want to just tell her also?
Into the microphone? Because the reason I'm asking her this is if our guys go back in there again and it's not, I'm taking a license.
I've explained that would be the likely outcome as well.
Yes, I understand. Everything is fixed. I try to do everything, okay.
Mm-hmm. So there's no DJ?
No DJ.
No dance
security,
floor?
No.
Okay, I'll accept.
Just for the record, they did apply for a method of op change, which we disapproved based on the pending charges. I don't know if they're going to be asking to reinstate that.
Well, make sure that comes here.
I will.
Okay, thanks. I'll approve, though. And wait, he's got, did you?
Accept.
Yep.
right, the next item is 131, Gabriella Importers Incorporated.
Morning, Leonard Fogelman for the applicant. I'm sorry, for the licensee. This is Jacques Azoulay, who's the principal of the business, sole principal. I helped him in 2006 get licensed. I've known him ever since. He's had a clean record since then. In mid to late 2015, he received a letter from the SLA asking about his dealings with MS Wine Shop, which led to a meeting in Albany in October of 2015, at which time, following that, the SLA asked for documents from Gabriella, which were timely submitted. Throughout.
So, I mean, I have all that information. I guess, what, was this done on purpose, given the credit, or was it an oversight, or was it something to get your product in there?
Oversight, and I regret it. We since have, I mean, I have a few points I wanted to make, but to answer your question, we since have hired someone full-time to take care of compliance. Here
Okay.
with us today, Claudia Garvin, and we've played by the rules since 2006, where our business model is really only wine, no liquors, no big brands. We don't discount, we don't do big programs. I mean, we do discounts, but on a very small scale. And I'm sorry to go into that, but I have all my skin in this business. It's an American expression, skin in the game. And I do it with heart and with the willingness to follow rules, to apply the law. So that was something that that charge is, I don't know how it went through, because we've been, in 2013 and 2014, when we went to the meeting in Albany, October 15th of last year, I brought to Kerry Gould at the time the letters I sent to every one of our customers from 2013 and 14 to tell them that we have to apply the law, the COD law, because we have calls as a small distributor saying, don't report us or we won't work with you.
Mm-hmm.
I told the sales guy that we've had, and I told the clients in writing with the dates, and that was in the file. I started in 2006. I was a young 32-year-old entrepreneur. 10 years later, I'm not halfway where I want to be, but I'm embarrassed about that, but I'm not ashamed. We follow the rules as well as we can. There were things that needed to be improved. We've improved them.
So your compliance person is going to be checking the COD list as well as making sure that the wines are being sold at the posted prices?
It was the case with Nicole. As far as posting, the number of violations seems very large, when in fact it's clerical mistakes, everybody at the same price. Some of the mistakes are very small, and there are, and Leonard told me we're not here to talk about the charges, but there are numbers of violations that are actually not violations, that are linked to name of wines and misunderstanding.
Okay.
This is mostly 10 days. Looks like it's about 10 days, that's all. And I'm looking at all the charges here, and it's a total of maybe 10 different days.
Where all the violations.
All the violations took place, I mean, over the course of maybe 2 or 3 months, but I'm saying it was looked like you just had a few bad days. That's what I'm seeing here.
Yes, early in the months of June and early in the months of July, I believe.
Yes.
The price posting, however, represents 32 out of the 40 violations. 5 of other violations, we were following the COD law. Our invoices were stamped. The driver, picked up checks that were post-dated 2 to 4 days, and we should have seen it. I didn't do anything about it. And
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I apologize.
All right, so based on that representation and the fact that you've hired someone in compliance, I'll accept the offer of $75,000.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry to, I thank you for that, because we started with a higher number. As I left the office yesterday, the sales for January were $84,000. And I know it's not the court purposes to see that, but I let you imagine the impact of a $75,000 violation for penalty for our business.
Considering what Mr. Ford just said in terms of the short period of time when this.
It is a short period, but it's also a big deal to me. You know, and
I don't mean to discount the charges. I'm fully aware, and if respectfully,
I know, I believe you know, I'm not saying that you are discounting the charges, but this is you know, in my view, this is a really serious thing, and whether it's an accident or whether it's done purposely is not really, I'm interested more in, the reason I ask if it was done purposely is because I want to know whether these retailers are starting to put the hammer on people, businesses like yours, in order to get into them. But either way, it's still egregious to me. So, you know, I'll drop it, but I'm not going to, I'll go to, I don't know, where do you want to go?
50?
I'll go to 65.
65 it is.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, good luck.
I have Brooklyn Spirits, another little disciplinary that probably will take 30
It's
seconds.
down toward the bottom. All right. 145. Brooklyn Spirits LLC.
We have an offer of a $4,000 penalty for this. Accept that offer.
Can I, we're going to take a minute.
Yes.
So,
These violations all occurred between April of 14 and August of 14.
but they're very similar to what we just saw, and they're actually involving the same store. And I think the offer is exceedingly low, given what we just charged your previous client.
Well, the previous client, we obviously are appreciative of the.
I know, but there
there
has to be some level of consistency here, and, you know, he just paid $65,000 for similar charges, and you're asking us to give this guy a $4,000 penalty.
This was six charges, that was 40 charges.
Yeah, but they're the same behavior. And the fact of the matter is that a lot of what he did, once he did it once, it repeated itself without any input on his part. I mean, I'm not saying that, I mean, I'd counter with 20, but I'm not going to accept 4,000.
Well, that's obviously considerably more than what was negotiated with counsel's office.
Yeah, I know.
If we can.
Yes, we can.
Something in between 4 and 20 would certainly.
I think you probably need to go back and talk to them, because I don't know that I'm going to go below 20, given what I just gave him and how serious I take these charges.
So do we want to?
Well, we can adjourn it, yeah. I realize you're going to have to, is your client here?
No, they're not.
Okay, so I realize you're going to have to talk to them, so yeah, we can adjourn it. Or you can just send a counter.
We can just send a counter, $20,000
Is that what you
counteroffer
agree?
letter, and then
Yes. Counter 20.
And then you can come back, you can put it back on the, how would it end up back on the calendar?
Either they'll accept that, or they can ask for reconsideration.
Okay, so we'll do it that way.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.
The next item is 118, Mihua Food Incorporated.
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioner, Deputy Commissioner, Council, Secretary, Staff. Adrienne Hunt on behalf of the licensee, actually the licensee's former principal or licensee, Mr. Chen. This was after a hearing, disciplinary issue, 2 charges, one being sustained by or should recommended to be sustained by the hearing officer, which is that Mr. Chen allowed the new owner to utilize that license. We're here to,
So, I mean, I'm trying to figure out, so he doesn't own this place anymore?
no, he does not.
So is it the easiest thing just to cancel this, or?
We would accept anything short of revo, prescription. Council will probably.
I mean, the ALJ found no nefarious intent on his part, so I'll cancel and bond.
Thank you.
I was thinking the same thing, canceling the bond. All right.
All right, the next item is 158H, Antholivia Wine and Liquor Incorporated.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Tanita Watson, and I'm the owner of Antholivia Wine and Liquor, to be located at 109 Gramerton Avenue in Mount Vernon. Firstly, I would like to apologize for...
Well, hold on 1 second. Do we have any opposition here to this? Okay, go ahead.
Firstly, I would like to apologize for my late paperwork submission. My son was sick in the latter part of the year, and it was impossible for me to submit it by December 30th, and I have
The
proof of
board,
that,
the board doesn't have the submission because it was 2 weeks late.
but I have it
Right.
here.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
No, because it was 2 weeks late. That's
Right. I have it here, if it's okay.
Well, I don't,
It's just exhibits.
yeah, you can hand it up.
In all fairness to you, my opinion would be to adjourn this to the next meeting to give me more of a chance to look at this than a couple of minutes now, don't you think? I know you're eager. I'm sure you are. Just my thoughts.
I know.
That's up to you. I'm not gonna, if that's what you want, it's fine.
Yeah.
I would like to try still.
Because we aren't gonna be able to read this. I mean, that's why we have
No,
deadlines.
it's just, basically, it's nothing to really read. It's just exhibits to prove my points. So it's
Okay.
basically diagrams.
All right, so go
or
ahead.
Photos.
All right.
So, I'm really excited to bring the new store, and the reason I chose the location, it's because first, I live extremely close to the location, and I travel to and from work every day, and I know through that location, and I know the area very well. If you look at exhibits B and B1, it shows a map of the area that I would like to service. It's actually stapled together. It's like the second sheets. I also have photos of hundreds of houses and 3 apartment buildings that are located in the area, and that would be located, that's the thickest pile you have, that is Exhibit A, and it shows the different streets of the areas that I would like to service. I realize the area that I chose is currently underserved because the closest store, Nadia's, is out of the way of for patrons. Most people traveling in that area uses the Bronx River Parkway, and anyone living from North 7th Avenue to Rich Avenue would have to take Gramerton to go home, which would be which my store would be the most convenient store for them, so that they don't have to go out of their way to go all the way to Prospect to Nadia's or further down to South 4th to Butchie's. My store also would have 3 convenient levels of parking in the back, which makes it easy for someone shopping on Gramerton because Gramerton is a very busy strip as well. And there's a new development that's coming a block above me. It's going to be located at 203 Gramerton Avenue, which it's 150 affordable housing that's going to be placed there. So it's give and take 150 apartments, some of them probably having 3 or 4 occupants. It shows that there's actually some level of growth going into the area. And also Exhibit F shows that the population of Mount Vernon is currently going up. All these points show that I would have a good area to service without interrupting the clientele of my current competitors. When I picture the location, I'm aiming to create an ambiance that is currently missing from the area. I would be the only store in the area that's offering tastings, and I want my customers to come in and learn about the wines that they would be buying and be greeted by knowledgeable staff. I have firsthand seen how staff would customers would walk out of the competitor's location, either due to low selection, which I've observed at P&S Liquors, or due to inconvenient layout. Which I've observed at Butchie's, which has a bulletproof layout, which makes it extremely difficult for the customers to see or feel the product in which they're purchasing. I've also compiled a list, and that would be Exhibit D, of wines and liquor that I would offer, majority of them being New York wines. I'm focusing largely on the large Hispanic community and the Caribbean community because Mount Vernon is now, it's now like, how can I put it? The population there, it's more mixed. It's a lot of Caribbean versus Hispanic community, and that area is what I'm looking to serve. Even though the store is not open, I have gained 30 signatures, and in the process of last week, I've gained an additional 20. And I know some of the questions that are probably going to come at me are the sales pertaining to the other location. I'm aware that the sales in the first competitor, which is Nadia's, and the third, which is P&S, they're going down. But what I would like to point out is that the closest store to me, which is Nadia's, which is on Prospect Avenue, not only has their highest sales not only do they have the highest sales in the area, but they have surpassed 1 million in sales. And they show that there's room for healthy competition. I would also like to point out that my second competitor, Butchie's, has an increase in sales, even with the bulletproof layout, where I've observed customers walking out of the store because he could not provide suggestions for something if he didn't have it, or give them another option.
Are any of the other stores bulletproof?
No.
So
It's the only bulletproof location.
Rico Wines and Liquors is,
Rico Wines and Liquors is not very close to Gramerton. That would be more off 247.
but is it bulletproof?
No, not that I've observed. It's a very small store, maybe about 300 or 400. It's relatively new, but it will be more off the border of Mount Vernon and the Bronx. If you should take 222nd from White Plains, it runs straight into there. So that has nothing to do with the area that I'm looking
And
to
what
serve.
about MVW? Is that,
VW would be more on Yonkers Avenue going towards the Metro North. That would be, I think, if memory serves me correctly, Mount
is that
Vernon
bulletproof
West.
though, do you know?
No, it's not. It's actually a step down, step up kind of store. It has a step going up where you have the wines on one level, and then there's a little corner to the side where you'll have the person who's cashing and a few other liquors or something like that.
Okay.
So it's like right in the corner next to the train station. So it's nowhere near the clientele that I'm looking to service.
All right. Can I be excused just for a second? I want to look in my office to see if I have yours from before. Give me 1 moment.
Okay.
You don't have it?
No, I
You
don't.
want to see mine?
Could I please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You said none of the other stores have tastings at all?
No.
Do you have any parking?
The parking is, there's parking in front of the store, and there's also a 3-level parking behind the building.
A parking garage?
Yes.
And what about the closest? Does that have parking?
The closest, no. What I do observe is that there's a parking lot for the supermarket, and there's a laundromat and stuff.
So they're in a plaza right next to the
Right.
supermarket, okay.
Of the 725 square feet, how much do you plan on that being retail?
Close to 600. The other remaining section would be like for the staff storage and everything. It's pretty small.
You ready?
Yep.
All right. I'm willing to approve. I think the small size of your footprint, the store, what you plan to offer, I think you'd be meeting the convenience and advantage for the public. All right?
I'll vote to approve as well. The closest store is Mount Vernon Liquors, or Nadia's, I guess it's called. And that has sales of well over $1 million. The next closest store is a bulletproof configuration, and that has increasing sales. The store that's being proposed is only going to be 600 square feet, and there is clearly an area that this store would serve. So I believe it is in the public convenience and an advantage to open it. So I'll approve. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Submit this part of the record, Tom.
Yes, please. Ms. Weiss, are you ready now? All right, the next item is going to be 152 Dimas Tower, Inc.
Morning. Stacy Weiss for the licensee for Dimas Towers. Excuse me. This was a CNC, and I had spoken to Jacqueline Flug about this case back in November, and we had come to an agreement of $20,000 and 7-day suspension. I have an email from her. If you'd like to see the email, I can give it to you.
Sure. Can you just explain to me what happened here when you get back to the microphone? Because this is strange.
Yeah, it's confusing.
What happened was originally, it was an investigation there was a complaint at Dimas Towers, which is a licensed premises that my client has, and that was unfounded. And out of that came an investigation at 2 other locations. And so the one location, which was Williston, was really, the licensee turned in the license at that location. And then the other location, which was Old Westbury, turned out that Mr. Dimas had purchased the business there, and the licensee had the business there, wouldn't let him take the license into his own name because there was a lot of money owed, and that's where the fine is $20,000 in 7 days, because there was...
These are all diners?
Yes, they're all diners. The old Westbury is the one that was the biggest issue, was the issue. There was a problem there. Mr. Fernandez, who was the owner, sold it to Mr. Dimas. And that's where there's a little bit of a problem at that location.
So has this all been cleared up at this point?
Pretty much.
What do you mean, pretty much?
Well, yes, it's been cleared up, yes.
We have the right people on the licenses?
Yes, the licenses were turned in. There are no licenses there at either location.
Okay.
So there
All
was-
right, I'll accept what the 7 days is forthwith. So when you get the letter, right, Tom?
Well, I'll let the staff know, get the suspension out, when the penalty goes out, so.
Okay.
That's no problem. Thank you.
Well, he has to vote.
Oh, I'm sorry.
20,000, 7 days accept.
Okay, thank you very much.
So it'll take effect when they get the letter?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, the next item is 133, Fatheads Whiskey Grill Corp.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm here representing my mother's business. I'm the manager of the establishment.
Could you just give us your name, please?
Gina Cronin.
So we have signs up?
Yes, I
And-
had the signs up, and the officer didn't like the location, and he just told me to move them. I moved them while he was there.
Okay, and then what, and the name?
I changed the DBA in 2012. I sent the paperwork to the State Liquor Authority. I did not know that somehow
You sent it to us?
Yes, I sent a piece of paper, the paperwork that came from the state when I changed the DBA.
I'm just confused. You sent it to us or to the Department of?
State Liquor Authority.
Liquor Authority.
'Cause
That's
not-
us.
Yeah,
That's not what the testimony is,
right.
according to the ALJ.
Well, apparently, it was never received, or however it happened. I never thought to call and to confirm that it was received, but I did change the DBA in 2012.
Oh, so you acknowledged, you sent it in, but you acknowledged that you don't know if we got it?
Correct.
Okay.
But you corrected it within a few
I
days.
did. I corrected it within, I think, a day. And the problem I have is I did not know on premise that my liquor license has to have the DBA on it, because for 7 years I've been issued a liquor license without a DBA on it. This is my old liquor license, there's no
Right.
DBA. I've never had a DBA on it. I've had.
Did you have a DBA before?
Yes,
What was it?
Fatheads.
Okay.
And I've had at least 2 inspections a year. Nobody's ever mentioned it to me. I never had a problem with it. And then.
You get inspected by us twice a year?
Yeah, the State Liquor Authority or the town will come in.
Oh. Well, the town may not know. I don't think we're hitting you twice a year, because we don't have the ability to do that.
Okay, then maybe it's the town.
All right.
Everything's all corrected, things like that. I'd be willing to go with a letter of warning.
I'll go $250. If he agrees.
$250. All right?
Thank you very much.
I'm not going to change his mind, so I'm going to, all right.
Well, this is.
I had a much higher number written down, so you did change
All
my
right,
mind.
all right.
Do I receive a letter?
You'll get a letter, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day.
All right, the next item is 158B, Wine Smart LLC.
Victor Foley.
Katerina Mamaeva.
Are there any protesters here? You can just come and sit in the front. We're going to listen to them first. Go ahead. I take it you're from Vintology, okay.
Chairman Bradley, Mr. Commissioner.
You own a liquor store, don't you?
Yes.
This isn't your liquor store?
No.
Then you can't. Go sit down.
Sir.
You're not the applicant.
No, but I put myself as a representative of Ekaterina Mamaeva, and you approved that to be representative.
Okay.
Even a little later,
All
it's
right.
approved to be a
No, you can
representative.
represent
You
her.
send me an email, you send me all information to represent her.
Well, because you told us you were the representative, that doesn't mean you're approved to be the representative.
Yes, it was approved because you sent an email and was approved. It's written Victor Pauly.
You can represent her. I can just tell you how this appears to me when you're up here representing her. It appears that you have interest in both stores, which is illegal.
May I talk, please? I don't have interest in both stores. I'm not married to her.
It doesn't
We're
matter.
living together. May I talk, please? I came to this country as an immigrant 25 years ago with no money in my pocket. I was a mathematician, arrived in here. In 2 years, I took a master's degree in computer science, and after that, a PhD in computer science. For ergonomic problems, I left that. I knew in this country, probably all men are created equal is a slogan. Probably all equal before the law is a slogan, but never a slogan, all men have equal opportunity. The only thing that I am really unhappy with is why WineSmart has to be treated differently. Vintology misrepresented you with lies, for sure. He said that we are close to each other. In 2013, or 3 years ago, Vintology applied for relocation to come closer to the location that is today. Frank DiMaria opposed Vintology to do not be close, and Liquor Authority arrived in conclusion that he can come close, doesn't impact the business. He always brings the closest, but never thought to you that 3 years ago he relocated. Those two businesses have been living together for 18 years. I do not have any business interest on WineSmart, no whatsoever. I don't run even VIP, my son runs it. I am retired. If you think that a retired man can take profit from two stores, trust me, that's wrong. The second thing,
But you're here, you're here representing her store. Why don't you talk about her store? If you don't own, listen, now it's my turn to talk.
Yes,
If you don't own a piece of her store or have no interest in the store, then why do I care what you're doing? I don't.
Can I explain?
No, you can tell me what she wants with her license.
That's what I want to answer. Her English probably is not good as mine.
It was perfect the other 3 times that she was in here, or 2 times that she was in here.
Probably her understanding then. We may speak with an accent, we don't think with an accent. The point is, I have been on her store and seen people coming in. It's absolutely discriminatory to say to somebody that you are not Orthodox Jew, get out of my store. It's totally unacceptable in today's American.
Were you here at the last hearing?
Yes, I was.
When we did the reconsideration? And you realize when we did that reconsideration, we were reconsidering a denial, that her license had been denied. I went and watched that hearing again because of some of the allegations that were made in the submission. And so I said, I don't remember it that way. So I went and watched it. I never mentioned kosher wines to her. The other commissioner never mentioned kosher wines to her. She offered it on her own and said, I'm going to be next to a kosher supermarket. I want to serve the kosher community, and I'm going to specialize in kosher wines. That's all I'm going to sell.
Yes, she was willing.
And we agreed with her.
And I agreed with her. I didn't put that limitation on it. She did.
May I use your own words? You said, always, when a liquor store closes in a mall, then literally you said, let me correct myself. Usually, when a liquor store closes in a mall, we always give a license to the other store that opened in the same mall. I do not know why I didn't give you a license the first time. These are your own, literally your
I don't know why we didn't recall that, but I do know that I gave the license last time because she said she was going to be 100% kosher. That I agreed with her on, and her opposition agreed with it. His opposition was dropped once she said she's going to be 100% kosher.
Chairman, Mr. Bradley, what logic could any person say to a person and to a customer that entered to your store and said to you, are you a racist? You don't have any other wine but just kosher? Are you working for only Orthodox Jews? Because
What are they, what are they saying in the kosher grocery store? Are they having that same conversation?
Yeah, in kosher grocery store, you can find other foods as well, trust me. It's their decision because they put the price up to keep it kosher. The point is simple. The point is, are we being racist? Are we being discriminatory? Is WineSmart treating 75% of population different from the 25% of population. What is the end result in here? I do not understand. I will not understand up to the day I die what was that decision. I'm not saying
It's
she
not
didn't
a
propose.
decision. She offered it. We did not bring it up. She did.
I agree, and that was wrong.
You obviously watched the video.
Yes, I did.
Because you're quoting me. Well, then you heard her say,
Yes,
we want to sell only kosher products.
Yes, no, she said, I'm willing to go up to 100% kosher. I am willing to go up to 100% kosher. And she,
I'm sorry, I want to correct. It's exactly what I proposed, that I'm proposing, I'm prepared to bring up to 100% kosher wines. I never mentioned anything else. And the truth to be told, I never saw that that will turn the way it did. The point that I try to explain and I try to appeal to the boards that I want to make the best kosher selection in Westchester County, that I want to bring as many kosher wines as the people in the area want to see. I wanted to do it because there 45% of people in this area are Jewish. I made my guess. I tried to do my best. I didn't know exactly how the business worked. And I never meant that my store will appeal only to 100% Orthodox Jews. Now, I have the biggest competitor in the Bronx, who is a Skyview Wine and Spirits, who has a full license. And every time my customers walk through the doors, especially the ones who wants to buy kosher wines and spirits and want to have some part of the order that is non-kosher, I lose the sale because they don't want to shop part to me and part to somebody else. And the whole purpose of me being there, providing this selection, which is right now about, I have a 270 kosher wines in the store, and I'm continue bringing more and more of this, defeat the whole purpose of me being there. Besides that, the people, think that I'm trying to treat them bad, It's like, you don't want to see what sometimes people say to me in a store because they think I do it on purpose, that I'm a religious freak, even though I'm not Jewish myself.
You understand that at the last hearing, when we reconsidered, we were trying to help you, trying to find a reason to give you the license, and you offered that. The protest went away.
I'm sorry for interrupting you, but the truth is, I feel very, very nervous when I speak publicly. And after we somehow get to the point that Mr. Bradley said that he doesn't see the reason why I didn't receive the license in the first place,
I did not say, I watched the tape. I did not say, I don't understand why you didn't get the license. I said, I don't understand why we didn't think about the fact that the store was closed. But the bottom line is, this license was granted when you offered 100% kosher products. That's why I voted yes on it. So if you're not prepared to do that, I'll take the license back. But you're not, for me, I'm not ready at this point to grant you to take that stipulation off that you offered to us, because I would not have granted it if you were going to be a wide open liquor store.
Sir, last time you didn't mention that will be written in the method of operation that will be 100% kosher. You can rewatch the tape as many times as you want.
I did mention it.
No, absolutely not. I rewatched the tape.
At the end of it, I said to.
Absolutely not.
Well, then you know what? There's other avenues that you can take, but I'm denying this application.
I will take every avenue that is possible in the world because it's racist. You are being racist and you are being discriminatory. I will tell you the truth.
And I think you're incorrect and you're out of line.
It's not incorrect.
And you're out of line because I never mentioned kosher to her. She brought it up, and that's why I voted for it. That does not, I would not have put that on there. I would have denied the license.
Mr. Bradley, do you really think that 130,000 Jewish people who live in Westchester County do not deserve some representation of kosher wines? But I can't provide full services to them. Isn't it bad?
I will show you the map.
We've had this conversation over and over. I'm not. You're welcome to turn the license in.
I can't provide them full services.
5 stores. Only one store in there. Check the map. I'm sorry.
I vote to deny. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
how long ago was it? A month?
No,
3 months ago.
11/16,
It
right?
doesn't work.
I see what is concerning me about this whole thing, and particularly with you as an owner of another store, is I question whether this was not the ploy that when you came in here the last time and offered up the kosher wines and then said, we're going to come back in 8 weeks and start throwing racist terms around. That's my concern, that I feel like I got hoodwinked here. So I would suggest that you now walk out the door and use whatever avenue is at your disposal. But this conversation is over.
Sir, do you think it's equal opportunity to give only one?
She offered it.
New York State?
She,
Only one kosher?
are you going to tell me she didn't offer it?
No, she did not
Mis-
offer. She
Mr.
said, I'm
Bradley,
willing.
I did-
Willing is one thing. You have suicidal line. If you are suicidal, you can call and they help you. That was suicidal.
When I said up to 100% kosher, I didn't mean that it will be 100% kosher products. And when you phrase it in the way you did, I didn't fully understand the implication that it will have on my license. And I wish you.
That's
would-
unfortunate, but I'm not going to reconsider.
Wish you wouldn't have issued, at least we will have cut the rent.
I-
Now we are stick up to here.
I
She
have
stick
to.
with $8,000
I had
rent
to
a month.
believe that you actually think.
You would
about-
not have gotten the license. I would not have granted it.
Would have been much better. Much better. At least we
Yeah.
wouldn't be $200-300 on debt.
I really saw that I'm trying to do the right thing by the people. I wanted to offer services that no one in Westchester wants to do.
Yeah.
And now it's becoming almost impossible to do that because of restrictions on my license. It's very difficult to do what I do. No one wants to hold that large selection of kosher wines in Westchester.
Yeah.
And I'm going to continue to hold it, but having such restrictions make it almost impossible to be successful in there. And I wish you would understand my situation.
I do understand it, but you offered that, and that's the only reason I granted it. I would have denied the reconsideration.
I said it in the first hearing. I'm not a lawyer. I'm trying to speak on behalf of my business, and I really hold it at heart.
But are
But
you
I'm trying
understanding
to
me?
do-
I would not have given you a license but for that. So now you want me to give you a full license that I never would have granted. I never would have granted you a full license.
But the other stores that was in the plaza had the full license and operated.
We
for
had
many-
that conversation back then, the first time we denied it. We're not going through that
We're
again.
unfortunately repeating ourselves here, and I personally take a little bit of objection.
hope that we will
May I
have a
speak for a
more
moment, please?
understanding.
I take a little bit of objection to being called racist. You know, not at all. Well, no one is. So I'm concurring with the chairman, and this conversation is over.
The next item I have is 112 CFA Holdings.
From the last time we met here about this, we had an issue with the outdoor area being zoned.
Right.
And questioning whether the town said it wasn't. If it
Right,
wasn't,
You asked me to get documentation from the town that
yes.
it's proper, and I have that. Terry Flynn, who's my attorney, is supposed to be here. He sent me an email at 9:30 saying he's violently sick, and I said, I'm going to proceed because I have the documentation anyway.
So do you have it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or do we have it already?
No, I don't.
No.
I'm just trying to save us time and cut to the chase. That's what we're here for. So I'll read this into the record since it's short enough. This is from the Town of East Hampton Building Inspector's Office, signed by Ann Glennon, Principal Building Inspector. Dear Mr. Scaloni, allow this letter to confirm our receipt conversation, your request dated December 22nd with regards to an interpretation for the above referenced property and its use. A restaurant nightclub use is the permitted use at this time as long as it continues and does not abandon the use per Code 140D, Section 2 of the East Hampton Town Code, or file for a change use as approved in NB, Neighborhood Business Zone, per the site plan approval. Also be advised, the fence added to the premises still requires site plan approval or building permit or removal to the original location. Keep this for our record? Sure. Take it.
So you're going to use promoters?
Honestly, the Hamptons is a different business, but traditionally the nightclub has always used promoters. Yes.
And the town is all right with that?
Sure.
What about parking?
Well, we actually have one of the largest parking lots in East Hampton town, which stretches from Wainscott to Montauk. But ironically, you know, people use public transportation now, cabs, Uber, et cetera. So our parking lot is rarely full. Plus, there's free parking up and down the street in front. It's a county road. There's no-
I know, but my concern is this place holds 400 people, and I guarantee you there's not room for 400 cars.
I know, but you could check, you can contact the fire marshal, you can pull up there and the place would be full and the parking lot's half empty because people in the Hamptons are scared because of all the DWI enforcement that goes on out there.
What, do they get dropped off?
Dropped off all the time. There's like, you know, huge vans and cars and stuff. I mean, there's an infamous place in Montauk called Surf Lodge. It has no parking at all, and then they locked down the parking on the street, and the place was still packed last summer because people take, you know, cabs.
I know, but we've had, see, the concern I have is that since I've been here, there's been significant problems out there, and then they call for our help to try to calm things.
This location, you could check the record, has not had problems.
And
I
so
was-
you mentioned a place that was one of the places we had
No,
to
I know.
go.
I mean, I'm just saying that, that was to my point about the fact that people don't drive to the destinations anymore. They're using, you know,
So what are
cabs.
the hours going to be?
The restaurant typically is, you know, 6 to 12, and the nightclub is typically like 9 to 4, but it's weekends only.
Does the nightclub make use of the outdoor space?
Where the bar is, yes.
The bar is.
So you owned Philip Chow that was at this location?
I was previously a partner with Philippe Chow. It's now a new entity. I bought out my partners.
But
there.
this was at the same location?
Right. I bought out my partners there.
So you're, and was that run the same way?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
Based on the approval from the town, I'm willing to approve.
I'll approve as well. I mean, we did get the, what is that, the C of O, or?
It's a verification from the town's building department.
Which is what the town asked us for. They really have not put in any other input on this location, other than the fact that they were concerned about
Outdoors, was that?
that they were in compliance with the town code, which it appears they are. I do have a letter here from the town, just basically talking about the fence, and that they request that no alcohol license be issued at this premises until such time that all licensed areas are in compliance with all local town codes, and it appears that's the case, so I'll vote to approve as well.
Looks like you have a nice place here that you're putting together, and I can only imagine that your clientele is going to be well-behaved.
Yes.
Let's hope.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Good day. Thank you.
All right, the next item is 139, the Manhattan Inn Brooklyn LLC.
Afternoon, Dana Lappin here, representing Halbronn and Levy for Manhattan Inn. This is a disciplinary. We have a default entered, and we're hoping to get the default reopened and make a CNC of a civil penalty or preferably a letter of warning. This is simply a late renewal for good operators that have been operating for a few years. This is their first renewal. They tried to handle it themselves and obviously didn't handle it correctly. The community board is in support of these applicants, like them, no complaints, no violations, and as said, good operators.
Well, I'm not going to reopen it, but I will give a, what's the usual on this, 250?
For how long they've been licensed? They've only been licensed for 2014, it'd be 500.
So I'll give you 250.
Is there any way we could do a letter of warning?
No.
Thank you.
Well, he's got to agree with me.
I was thinking 500, so I'll go 252, all right?
Next item is 158K, Sagona Enterprises Incorporated.
Is there a protest here?
No, we had the issue with the tenant association. They had submitted a letter of protest, but we had no address. So we just sent a letter to the association at the building address. We haven't heard anything back, so.
Okay, go ahead. Put your names on the record. And you got to speak in the microphone.
My name is Yakuba Sisi. I'm the president of the Sagona Enterprise. The last time I was here, I've been asked to be the CFO. So I think.
Well, you sent the same one, a letter of no objection, which indicates that the permitted use is for the first floor, and your location is in the basement of the building. That's what my question was.
Do you understand? The letter of no objection is sufficient. The problem with the letter of no objection is it's not referring to the floor your business is going to be in. It's referring to the first floor. Your business is going to be, no, your business is in the basement, based on the stuff that we have.
Another commercial in the building except my place, my space.
Am I wrong in that, Jackie?
No, I think that's exactly what he said it was. He says, list the floors where the proposed premise will be located. Basement. Doesn't say first floor.
Yeah, that's my store, the first floor. It's the only commercial space there. So I don't know why they keep say basement.
You said basement on your application, right?
Yeah, I'm reading it.
Mistake. It's not a basement. It's the first floor. It's the only commercial thing.
Is there a basement or isn't it?
Well, it says the commercial space is on the first floor, and then the storage area is the basement. So it's both.
Okay.
So that's where the confusion is.
No, I mean, you're much clearer here, but what he wrote on his application is very clear too. It says the premise is located in the basement of a residential apartment building.
It's the only commercial space in the residential.
I know, but we can't, right now, there's a big inconsistency about where this business is located, and I don't know how to resolve that unless, how do you file amended application? I mean,
Whatever you need us to do, we're
I'm
glad to
sure.
support whatever we need to do.
so you're telling me this entire business is on the ground, is on street level?
Right.
Yes, it is.
Well, that's not what your application says.
Even when you're in the street, you can
Wait.
see inside.
Wait, but you have to go downstairs.
You take your stairs.
If you're outside, you go downstairs and then go inside.
That's the basement.
Well,
Is it outside stairs?
yeah,
Right.
Like, are the windows kind of like, windows like street level?
Right.
You gotta walk down there. Yeah,
confusion, sorry.
it's all down, it's down in there.
I remember this from before.
Yeah, that's below street level. That's,
So it's sort of, that's where the confusion is. It's like first floor basement, but the storage is the basement.
they're telling me there's a floor below that?
There's
Under
like
me?
storage. Like it's not a floor, it's like,
A crawl space.
yeah.
So this is the basement. That's why your letter of no objection says the first floor. It has to say the basement.
Okay.
You understand? Is this a New York City housing
Yes.
building?
Yeah, yes.
So are they even, is it zoned for this?
I don't know, we can look into it.
No,
Well, if they've got a letter of no objection, at least the first floor allows it. Whatever the first floor is.
Less than 75, how many people they got in this thing?
Have you met with the tenant association?
That's
Because
what
they're
I'm doing right
strongly
now.
opposed to this.
Yes, we're doing that right now with the senator office, try to bring us together and fix the problem. That's what we're doing right now.
yeah, everything's been fine, you know, after, there was, there were many conversations after, you know, there were, motions ran high.
Are they willing to put, well, you said you worked it out together? What's the plan? What kind of place are you going to operate then? How late you going to be open till? What did you negotiate with them?
No, when they protest.
Well, it's one lady, it's really one lady that's very upset. It's not the association, and she just has an axe to grind. It's not the association.
Okay, so what are the hours? What are the hours?
Times, yeah.
5 to midnight, Monday to Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 4 to 4.
5 to 4 a.m.?
Yeah, Friday and Saturday, 4 a.m.
Is this place soundproofed?
Yes, sir.
What was in this space before?
It was laundromat.
So you had it soundproofed?
Yes.
Do you have evidence of
Myself,
that? Do you have evidence of that?
I didn't bring it with me. I got
I mean,
it.
who did it? Did you have a company come in and do it?
Yes.
And what was the name of the company?
Mori Design Construction. I can.
What do we do about this letter of no objection? Is this,
Well, that's something that can be a condition. They can have it either fixed or, I'm not sure, do we want to sit there and get the clarification for them?
Yeah, I would be more comfortable with this if you had clarification. Should be pretty simple if that's,
Go back to them? Okay.
yeah, first floor, bottom level, whatever you want to call it, something that makes it clear.
no, it shouldn't say first floor. It should say basement or bottom level or ground floor, whatever, but it says first floor now.
Yeah, that's
What
what I
about
mean.
they had something that from the
Buildings.
building department says that is the first floor?
Well, that's fine, too. Yeah, if the building department says that they're talking about the same space you are, then I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
And we can make that a condition.
yes, yeah.
Oh, so you want to hold off on this? Is that what you're
Second.
saying?
I-
No, I'm
willing-
asking him.
I'm willing to approve on the condition that you come back with clarification and that we're deciding on the same thing. That we,
Well, then I have some more questions for them, so.
aside from that.
So has the community board weighed in on this at all? Have you met with the community board? You have met with them?
After the first meeting? No, I met with them for the first meeting, yes. I did already.
You met with the community board. What community board?
10.
And what, did they vote on it or no?
They told me to go to see the tenant, to solve the problem for the tenant, and they're good.
And then they didn't have any other problem with you? And they didn't have any problem with your hours, the DJ? Okay. You approved already?
I approve based on that letter getting.
All right, I'll approve as well, but there's not going to be use of any promoters. The hours, Monday through Wednesday, are to close by midnight, 5 to, I don't care when you open, but close by midnight, and Friday and Saturday, 4 a.m. You want live recorded and DJ and karaoke?
It's possible, yes.
Well, it's not. So what are you willing to give up? I'm thinking no live and no karaoke.
I take off with that.
So no live music, no karaoke, no promoters, and those hours, and I'll approve.
And you said it was soundproofed?
Yes.
Oh, and it has to be soundproof.
Can you, as another condition, one last one, I'd like to have proof of that from the company.
No
Okay.
problem.
So we need proof of soundproofing and a letter of no objection, updated letter of no objection.
Right.
So that's condition, your license is conditional on those two things.
No problem, sir. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Good luck. And I also note that there is a letter of support from Senator Bill Perkins.
Actually, he's the one helping me to talk to the tenants right now.
Okay. So that, because he is obviously the senator in that district, and supports your business, that went a long way as well, so.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Next item I have is 158G Vicara Partners LLC.
Hi, I'm Joseph Johnson. I'm just here to answer any questions that you have.
You, the owner?
No, I'm the, I fill the paperwork. I'm the agent.
Where is the owner?
He wasn't here. He couldn't make it, but I was under the understanding that this was already, we went to the 500-foot hearing.
Yeah, no, I need to talk to him, so he's gonna have to be here.
Oh, okay.
Because he's asking for a lot of activity that the community board is a little apprehensive about, so he has to be here in order to get this approved.
I thought it was along the same basis as the last license, the activity in there. It's just recorded.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't, I need to see him. I don't just grant licenses to clubs without the guy coming in here.
Okay.
Adjourn it to February 1st?
Whenever he can get him here. When can you get him here?
February 1st is the next meeting?
Yes.
I can have him there, here then, no problem.
It would be in his best interest.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I just, okay.
So we can give him a fair shot at it.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Our next item is 113 Aris Deli Grocery Corp.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning.
I'm just under the weather, so,
Stay back there then.
yeah, I know, I don't want to contaminate. The principal is still in Yemen. He was supposed to make his way to be here, and the last communications that I got was that he was supposed to be here. Apparently, they got stuck because there's no airport in Yemen. It's bombed out. They have to travel to Djibouti, and then from Djibouti, find way back to the States. So, what shall we do?
You can withdraw it, or you can withdraw it and reapply, or I can deny it. But this has been sitting around since you filed it in August, so we've waited long enough.
Okay, so let's withdraw the application.
Yep.
Without prejudice.
Yep.
And let him reapply.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Whenever he can make it home.
Stay healthy.
You too.
Thank you.
Ciao.
I don't have any other items signed in.
Sorry, did you need anything in writing to withdraw?
No, I'll take your verbal on there. Fine with me.
Thank you.
Ready to go through the batch?
Yes.
All right. 106,
Accept.
107,
Dismiss, charge one.
Which is everything, right?
Yes.
Yeah, dismiss. I don't see anyone at fault there.
108 and 109 has been adjourned. 110,
So when?
I'm sorry, 2-1, sorry.
$10,500. And sustain charge 1.
Exceeds.
You
max.
can't.
Oh, I'm sorry, 10,000. Sustain charge 1 and 10,000.
Third time, right?
Yeah.
Sustain 1, 10,000.
111,
Accept.
Accept.
114,
I'll accept. This is, can someone explain to me how this happens? This guy was open at 3:45
he doesn't have a watch?
AM, by the way, 3:45 AM. I'll accept 5,000.
A liquor store. Accepted.
115,
Accept.
3,500, accept.
116,
Sustain 1, dismiss 2, and 2,500. I do have a question though, Chris, that maybe you can, and you don't need to get an answer, but maybe just for my own edification and yours is, I wondered why she didn't charge the overcrowding.
Overcrowding.
Yeah. But you can probably ask her. It's not, but either way, it's sustain 1, what did I say? Sustain 1, dismiss 2,
Dismiss 2.
2,500.
Other way around.
Other word.
I think is what the
Oh, did I?
judge. 116, I'm sorry, correct, was,
Oh, you're right. Sustain 2, dismiss 1, 2,500.
Sustain 2, dismiss 1, 25.
117,
I want to see these people.
I had a note here, where's the report?
Can you bring them in?
well, okay, to February 1st?
Yes.
they're right up the street, so.
Shouldn't have defaulted at the hearing.
119,
Sustain 1, sustain 2, 5,000.
Sustain 1, sustain 2, 5,000.
120,
Dismiss 1, dismiss 2, and charges 3 and 4 were withdrawn. So that's that.
Agreed.
121,
Sustain 1, 7,000.
It says they suspended his cigarette license, but it doesn't say why. Does it not matter to us?
no, if we get that notice, by statute, that's a violation.
That's all.
Doesn't matter why they did it.
All right,
Sorry, I didn't mean to,
No, that's, yeah.
thank you. All right.
I'm guessing there's one of 2 reasons.
Yeah, it just didn't state it. So what did you come up with, Chairman?
7,000. And sustain charge.
7,000 and sustain.
122,
Second violation, so, shelter minor, improper conduct.
Well, yeah, I have 6,000. Is the improper conduct, Chris, I'm assuming the improper conduct is
36.
is the arrest of the person who sold the liquor?
I have it here as the failure to post
it's the
Pricing.
violation of the city code.
city code. Yeah, I see that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, 6,000. It's the same
6,000,
thing.
yeah.
124,
Accept,
Accept.
125,
accept,
Accept.
126,
I'll accept, but do we know if they're open? Otherwise, if they're not, we just cancel.
It's active.
no, it was,
They
place
don't
next,
trade name.
their other place was, I think it was what that was closed.
Or discontinue using the name.
Oh, I see, okay. All right, I'll accept.
Accept.
127.
The attorney represents that all the violations are fixed. I'll accept 6,000.
Yeah, all addressed or rectified, except.
128.
This is a no contest default.
Food for the last 11 years.
I'll cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
129 and 130.
Like most issues have been addressed, guards been certified, ATAP training completed. Their in-house promotions have been stopped.
I'll accept.
7,500, accept.
132.
Accept.
1,500, accept.
134.
Sustain charge 1, 2,500.
Sustain, yeah, 2,500.
135.
Dismiss all 3 charges.
Yeah, I had dismiss also.
136.
Sustain charge 1, $3,000.
No letter of controversy on this one received like that?
No.
Sustain, 3,000.
137 and 138.
So in the first proceeding, sustain charge 1 and 2. In the second proceeding, sustain charge 1, 2, and 3. A lot of these charges are repeats of previously adjudicated violations, so 11,000, because of, they're clearly not getting the message.
Yes. 11,000.
140.
500.
500.
141.
Cancel, no bond. There's no bond available, right, Jeff?
Right.
Nope.
Or Tom, I mean?
You, sorry, were you good there with that,
Yeah,
Commissioner?
yeah, cancel, no bond. Nothing there.
142.
Counter the offer, 9,500.
1, 2. Should be higher than that, Chairman, is it third?
We can. We can only go to 10,000.
I was gonna say 10,000.
All right, 10,000. Counter at 10,000.
Just to be consistent.
143.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
144.
Accept.
Accept.
146.
Accept.
147.
Accept.
Accept.
148.
6,500.
6,500, second time.
149.
3,500.
3,500.
150.
Cancel and bond.
The attorney, yeah, cancel and bond, I'm sorry.
151.
So what's an SL license?
Seasonal on-premise liquor.
New acronym I hear.
So I actually was going to lower this to 3,000, given the location and
3,000, it's fair.
153.
accept,
Accept.
154.
accept,
Accept, second time.
155.
dismiss, charge 1,
Dismiss.
156.
accept,
Accept.
157.
They Just need
Accept.
to add some groceries back on the shelves, except
158,
Letter of warning, accept.
it's 1972, letter of warning, except
158A,
Did we hear from them at all?
no.
I would just note the significant
Yeah, I know,
information
yeah,
that's contained
yeah.
within the report that would make me think that this is going to come before me at some point or another. And I'll
Are
just
you
leave
talking
it-
about the previous history as a drug den?
I will just leave it at that. Yeah, and the U.S. Attorney, yes.
Yeah, they didn't appear, and this place has a really notorious history where a significant amount of cocaine was actually recovered, 55 kilos at the location, and it's apparent that they used this location previously as a front for a drug smuggling operation. I don't know that the applicant has anything to do with that, but since he didn't appear, I can't ask him. So I'm going to vote to deny.
deny.
So do you have something on today's calendar? What item is it?
It's item number 114968. It's a $1,500 offer for disorderly.
What's the,
114,698, you said, this is case number?
D. Milton Sports Bar. Hold on for a second.
Sorry,
I think we already accepted it.
oh, yeah?
Yeah, we already went through that. I just, hold on for a second.
We only did a couple counters, and it wasn't that.
No, that
so.
wasn't, that's been
Yeah, so we accepted it.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Have a good day,
You
sir.
too.
All right, 158C was adjourned. It should have been on your list, but it wasn't. It was adjourned prior to the board meeting. $158D was also adjourned
2-1.
to 2-1, sorry. 158I.
Didn't we ask them to come in?
Yes.
And they didn't?
No.
All right, I'll counter with 15,000 then. I mean, I wanted them to explain to me what was going on here. Obviously, they're not interested in doing that, so
They may be now.
That's,
Mike got their attention.
yeah.
Is that, are you on board with that, Commissioner?
Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
158J, this was another one you wanted them to appear.
They still open?
This is just a straight no contest?
Yes.
Then cancel and bond.
Cancel them on.
All right. I have the minutes from the last meeting, the proposed decisions, and those proposed declaratory rulings.
So, the minutes I'm fine with, the declaratory rulings I'm fine with, and I gave you some of the decisions that I reviewed, but I have not reviewed the others. What ones did so why don't we hold off on the decisions?
All right.
Have you reviewed any of those? Are you fine with all of them?
Fine with, yeah.
All right, so Commissioner Ford's fine with them, so once I review them, I'll just hand them to you.
Okay. I have no other business before the board.
All right, we're adjourned.